I think this year was really a year of stretching myself, whether it was, of course, doing sports or reaching out and meeting new friends, or like the first day at cross country practice, I met 3 people. I thought this year was a really good year of stretching ourselves as a family, stretching myself individually. I thought that was really good.
Hello everyone, we are Greg and Jackie Francis, and welcome to High Performance Parenting, where our passionate goal is to encourage you to raise champion children in a crazy world. Every week we will bring you multiple episodes from our extensive experience of raising our 6 happy, healthy, successful, godly kids who are confidently equipped to win big in life.
We deeply believe that any parent who is provided with the right knowledge and continual support can raise amazing kids. And when they do, all of our futures get better. If raising up future generations of absolute champions matters to you as much as it does to us, here's how you can contribute. Like and share this podcast with everyone you know. And together, let's embrace this journey of raising champion kids in a crazy world. All right, everybody. Happy New Year. I don't know when you're going to listen to this, but for us, it's currently January 1st, and we just came off of an amazing year, didn't we, young ladies?
Yes, we did.
We have Abbie and Miss Crissy Lou Francis back in the studio again today. And last time we were talking about goals and goal setting and completing the year and looking forward to next year. And we've been doing some goal planning around this house, haven't we?
Yeah, that's for sure.
It's been going on for what, like a month now, probably?
Yep. Yes, lots of questions.
Yeah. And so I've been sharing with you guys a lot about, what we do with our coaching clients, what we do for ourselves, how we really start planning to have the most successful next year that we possibly can. And there's a lot that goes into it, isn't there?
Yes, there is.
Are you guys surprised at how much effort goes into actual effective goal planning?
Yes, very surprised.
It's a lot. So anyways, before we start, I have a question for you guys. What kind of music do chiropractors like?
What kind of music?
Hip hop.
That's a good one, Dad.
Thanks. Okay, Crissy, here's one for you. What has 5 toes and isn't your foot?
What?
My foot.
That one's good.
Oh, gosh, that's funny. All right, so here's the dad. He says, go to bed. The cows are already asleep in the field. You know what the son said? He said, so what? And you know what the dad said? It's past your bedtime. All right. Enough with the jokes. We could do jokes all day. But here's a few things. You guys probably aren't expecting me to ask you these questions, but I'm going to. So that way it's just real and raw and fresh. And you have to kind of think off the cuff because you have no preparation for it.
Yeah.
Are you nervous, Abbie?
Yeah, I had no idea I was even doing a podcast today.
Yeah, I know. I just walked in the kitchen about 5 minutes ago and said, hey, we're going to podcast.
I'm like, what? I'm podcasting?
And you're kind of the planner, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You like to actually plan more and be prepared and everything else. And you get a little nervous when I don't give you preparation, but I like to do it that way because I like seeing you squirm a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Chris, you don't mind, huh?
No, I don't mind. My dad says, you're pretty good at thinking on your feet, so I'll ask you this. I'm like, good.
Yeah. It's an interesting statement, isn't it? Thinking on your feet.
Yeah.
So does that mean you can't think on your rear end when you're sitting down?
I don't know.
Okay. Anyways, all right. I got some questions for you guys. All right. First, we're going to do a little bit of exercise here of just completing this past year. Because as you guys know, maybe you don't know, one of the things we teach our coaching clients all the time and that we've learned ourselves is that you really want to be able to unlock creativity within your life. And the more creative you are, the more productive you are, the easier it is to be able to actually accomplish anything you're trying to accomplish, the more joyful it is when you're working on things. And so trying to keep your creative juices flowing, part of doing that is you have to almost envision it like you have thoughts. Picture a thought in your head like it's bouncing around. Okay. And so if it doesn't actually get completed, where it has a place to land, where there's where it makes sense, or you have come to some kind of a resolution around it, then it's almost like that thought just continuously keeps bouncing. And imagine if you have 10 of those, and then eventually you have 100 of those. Well, after a while, you have so many thoughts bouncing around your head that it's hard to create new, productive, creative thoughts. Does that make sense? You guys? And so one of the things we do is we ask a few questions, because even just asking the questions and talking about these things out loud, a lot of times what it does, it allows your thoughts to land. Imagine they stop bouncing and they actually land, and now it's like rested and settled. Okay.
Yep.
So here's one. What was your biggest triumph this past year? Why don't you start, Crissy?
I think there's a lot of triumphs, but last night we were kind of talking about our thankfulness for like 2023 and like some highlights. And I thought one of the greatest triumphs was seeing in so many different ways that we can do hard things. Like this year we made a big move, and like seeing that even like just having a few weeks to pack up our whole house, you could still do it. Or I did cross country this year, and like just seeing that I could do it even though I've never done it before. Like just seeing the real life, like seeing it played out that we can do hard things.
Mm-hmm.
Or getting a snake out of the garage.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy. I wasn't there, but I wish I would have kept the recording on the camera, because I heard it was pretty intense.
It was.
I can just envision Mom, you guys, and a couple of brooms trying to get a snake out
I was so scared
at our
of
Florida home.
Yeah, I was so scared of the snake. I was the person that shut the garages once it was
Yeah.
done.
It was me and Drews. We were chasing this thing out of the garage. I had this little like screen cleaner. It was like not very helpful. Then Drews had this huge broom, and we're like sweeping it out of the garage, and it worked.
Mom's in the background laughing right now.
Yeah.
Bella's watching Hunter. I'll take care of watching Hunter inside.
Yeah.
That's funny. All right. So you said learning how to do hard things, proving yourself you can do hard things, which was for you, it was things like moving across the country to a new place. It was actually doing cross country as a sport, which you've never done before.
Right. And proving myself to the players, to the coaches, to the people watching that I can do this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you just kind of showed up and started running. They just pointed a direction, and you're like, all right,
Yeah.
how does this work, right?
Yeah.
And within no time, though, how well did you do? You were like top of the group?
So I was either every single race of the year, I was either second, third, or fourth best in school.
Mm.
And when we just had when we were competing against two other schools, I was always top 10.
Yeah.
And that could be like 60 girls running at a time. So that was cool. And then we went to this huge race that had 100, 200 runners, just 7th and 8th grade girls. And I got 47th. And that was when I got second in school. So that was good.
Wow. Good job. Okay. Miss Abbs, what was something that was your biggest triumph or triumphs this past year?
One of my biggest ones were being a part of a golf team and really pushing myself to try out and then be a part of it and then push myself to get better and better, because it was a stretch, because all my other siblings, they're younger than me, so it's different to have competition with all the girls being older than me, because I'm a freshman, and having all the high school girls being older than me, and just going with different areas. But it was always nice having a twin. I always had a friend, so it always made me feel better knowing that we were in the same boat and we kind of understood each other's feelings. And then also, it was also just really cool coming here. One of the biggest triumphs was meeting a whole bunch of nice girls, because I feel like in our previous places we'd have nice people, but it was the best people there pretty much. But now we were in such a better state with our church and stuff that I could really find friends who had the same ideas and the same expectations as our family.
Yeah. And also I would say, a big part of our move out here was to position ourselves to be in a really healthy community full of a lot of great people, and not perfect people. But we're not perfect either, you know, but just being a place where we feel like we fit. And, but then probably the triumph for you in it is just stretching yourself to get to know some of these people.
Yeah. I'm one, sometimes I'm I want to meet people sometimes, but sometimes I just want to have my own alone time. So it was also just, I don't know if it was maybe just not having always the right people and feeling like I had to say the right things and kind of get around what they were saying, because they were sometimes they had negative thoughts. So sometimes maybe that might have been what held me back from wanting to have more friends. But when I come into here, I realize that I don't need to really shield myself as much, but I can actually be have actual friends that I could just talk to and play with and have games. And we just recently invited 2 of our friends over from the church, and we just played games the whole time. We were teaching each other a whole bunch of games and card games and board games and had hot cocoa. And it was just really fun, enjoyable for me. So
Yeah, there wasn't stuff you had to like fight against or combat against or try to avoid. People weren't pulling out weird stuff on their phones or, just talking highly negative or just doing things that don't fit well with our philosophy, right?
Yeah, and they're like really respectful. They always say like please and their thank yous, and they're just have really good manners, and they're very polite. And like it was Drewsy's birthday around the time like we didn't even like ask them to bring anything, but one of them brought a gift for our brother for his birthday, which was just really sweet. Like we didn't even ask for it, and it was just really, really fun.
It's super cool. That's awesome. Okay. How about this one? What do you what would you say is a word that best sums up and describes your experience of this past year? Yeah, word or a phrase, a sentence, whatever.
Yeah, I think this year was really a year of stretching myself, whether it was, of course, doing sports or reaching out and meeting new friends, or like the first day at cross country practice, I met 3 people. Well, I met 2 people and I already knew one, but I kept meeting new people, and I thought this year was a really good year of stretching ourselves as a family, stretching myself individually. I thought that was really good.
Mm-hmm. Great. Okay.
Something for me was like God's got our back. I feel like it was like the whole journey of just trusting God, because this was our dream to have a community like this, and God just leading us through it all. And it was also a year of flexibility. We said that in the beginning of the year, like this is going to be a year of flexibility. We don't know exactly how it's all going to work out. Like none of us knew really where we were going. We knew where we wanted to end up, but we didn't know what was going to be happening in the in between. So it was just a year of flexibility and a year of growth.
That's good. And that's true. As a family, we kind of determined that was going to be the last year was being flexible, because there, like you said, I mean, we were taking an adventure. We're kind of moving to a new area, new whole section of the country, right?
Yeah.
I mean, which is different. Like we don't even know what the weather's like. We don't even know what to expect each day. We don't. We've never lived in high desert before, where your grass dies if you don't have a sprinkler system across your entire yard. We've never sat and looked at mountains or, just experienced the big swing in temperature where it gets warm and then it drops 40 degrees at night kind of thing.
Yeah.
And even then, like a whole new neighborhood. We don't know who our neighbors are yet, new church. We had never really belonged to one fully before. So now what does that mean? I mean, new potential friends. How does it work with, grandma and grandpas and, traveling and visiting? And it's just a lot, right?
Definitely a lot. It was cool coming in here and being something completely different. One thing that was really good is that, so when we were in Florida, it would be super humid. Like 80 in Florida would be like 110 here. Mm-hmm. But you could wear jeans at 100 degrees here and like late, like in the summer, like in the evening. So that was cool.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't as humid. It was so dry that we have no humidity. So it wasn't like
you weren't
even sweating.
Yeah, and I could actually do my hair and it would stay nice. Like, there's no point.
Wow, me too. It's amazing.
You don't have any problems with that, Dad.
You guys, though, in Florida, holy curly hairs.
Yeah. And my hair isn't even very curly. Like, even Bella's, like, hers is perfectly straight. Every time, like, her hair dries, like, after she cleaned it, it's, like, looks like she straightened it. She's like, I'm like, Bella, you're so blessed. And then, like, in Florida, even hers would get, like volumized or staticky or, yeah. It's great we can do our hair here.
Oh, makes me happy to be a boy. All right. How about this one? What was one of the most loving services you performed this past year? Something kind you did for others. Could be a sibling, could be other people, could be mom and dad, could be anybody.
I thought that there's a lot of things that we did as a family to help our community around us. I thought that some of the nicest things... Let me think.
How about you, Abs? You got anything?
I think one of the nice services that we've done this year was we were helping a family who had been through a hard loss and we helped them, whether it was watching the kids or going to their house or making some meals for the kids, and just comforting them through their hard state. And also, I think another one was how when we were driving up from Florida to go to Boise, we stopped by in Wisconsin to be with our grandparents, both of them, and we really spent the time just to be with them and hang out with them, because it was a big trip going from Wisconsin, only being 22 houses down from some of our grandparents, and like only a couple of hours away from our other ones, from going all the way to Idaho, which is like a long drive in a couple of hour flight. So it was a big difference, but we made sure that we loved on them and that we spent time with them and just had the best time we could with them.
Mm-hmm. It's really good. Anything to add, Lou?
Yeah, I thought that was great. I mean, I was part of the school year. I think it was fun. Maybe not the nicest thing, but I thought it was really cool how, like, so Drews and Ellie are just a little bit younger than I am, and I was like their language arts teacher for homework, and I always took the time and made it fun and did games with them and everything. So yes, of course it was like part of their education, and mom and dad are willing to like pay me for it and stuff like that, but it was really fun doing that with them.
You put your heart into it.
Yeah.
You went above and beyond, and you try to make it really enjoyable for them. And
Right.
it takes like your extra effort to do it.
Yeah, it does. And I tried to make sure like Drew's got it like right away, but Ellie was like still learning the basics. Like this was like one of her first years doing like language arts and stuff and grammar. So I really made sure she understood it, and I thought that was cool.
Awesome. All right. We'll continue in the next one.
All right.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening and thanks for your love and support. We hope that today's episode added tremendous value to you and your family. It would mean so much to us if you would partner with us on our mission of helping parents around the globe raise champion children in this crazy world.
To do so, simply take a moment to like and share this podcast with everyone in your network. See you next time.